In a gaming environment where indie projects are a dime a dozen and more genres become saturated every year, how would you make yours stand out? Cosmic Pebble answered this question with a fresh, unique experience for me, so let's talk about this brand new indie platformer and how it uses its unconventional mechanic to make it memorable. What's up, Spaceport? I've been playing a lot of precision platformer games since my last video, so when I opened my email recently and saw this brand new title waiting on me, I was pretty hype about it. Cosmic Pebble is the hobby project turned video game developed by solo dev Giannis Mavroeidis over the course of 6 years and promises fast-paced action with a unique twist mechanic and a heartfelt sci-fi story. Disclaimer, I really hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, man. Anyways, I want to get right into the action, guys. The game is divided into 10 separate levels, the first 2 of which are a little bit shorter, and they're used to set up the main mechanics of the game and get you familiar with its movement. It's immediately apparent that this game's movement is a bit tighter than some of its colleagues, which leads to a more challenging experience to the player. I'll expand on this more later. Luckily, the dev was very mindful with the inclusion of several accessibility options, including a standard and simple gameplay mode preset that lets you play as your skill allows. I personally played on challenging here, as I like experiencing games on their default settings or how they're intended to be played, so the amount of times you see me fail here is purely from my own masochism. Don't be discouraged by my footage. Level 2 is where the standout mechanic of this game is introduced, though, the boomerang. Honestly, what game isn't made better by having a boomerang? Everybody loves a boomerang in a game. This thing changes the entire dynamic of Cosmic Pebble, and I feel it sets this game apart from most every other precision platformer on the market right now. The boomerang serves many purposes in this game as you progress through the different biomes that Cosmic Pebble has to offer. It's an aimed projectile used to press distance switches, making platforms appear or disappear, and it offers a slight extension to your hang time in midair, sort of like the hover mechanic in Spyro or doing a cappy jump in Super Mario Odyssey. You'll find yourself throwing it later on to break ice blocks that are in your way, pop bubbles that you need to get past, and even fight bosses as you clear each one of these levels. It's an instrumental piece of Cosmic Pebble's identity, and really it's the linchpin of Giannis's design. I wanted to dig more into the design of Cosmic Pebble online, and I found out a lot about it via the developer's YouTube channel. As I said earlier, this game is the result of over 6 years of work invested. It took him from a hobbyist into a full-blown game developer, and his journey has been very well documented in one of his videos that I'll link down below. I absolutely think it's worth a watch. The most interesting part of this video is actually directly related to the boomerang mechanic. See, as Cosmic Pebble was being developed, a little game was released that you might be aware of, Celeste. That's right, the one that blew everyone else out of the water and has served as a template for almost every precision platformer since. At the time, Cosmic Pebble had a dash mechanic very similar to what Celeste released with, and recognizing this, there was a question: how do I stand out against a masterpiece? And by this stroke of genius asking this question, I believe that Giannis succeeded in doing just that. Although Cosmic Pebble shares many things like numerous collectibles, sprawling stages, a double jump indicator, and others with Celeste, they feel difficult to compare game to game in a good way. Having an aimed ranged option for not only dealing with hazards in the game, but opening new paths for yourself, fighting enemies, and even just as an absurd artifact found on an alien planet really gives Cosmic Pebble the variety and character it needs to stick around in my mind. The late game sequences of hazards had me throwing the boomerang rapidly to secure a safe route for myself as I tried to manage my double jumps, my jetpack fuel, wall jumps, and various other mechanics placed in the game required to make it to the next screen. It turned into a dance as I chained together my movements to get that one good run I needed to win. Now, as you start approaching the end of the game, you'll run into these end of level gauntlets that are really quite brutal by design, and they require mastery of the boomerang as a tool to succeed getting past them. There's little to no hand holding in these sections and really no punches pulled. It's truly the Dark Souls of precision. I'm kidding. Trekking through ice caverns, slime forests, and cannon-filled fortresses really made me realize that Cosmic Pebble had been training me this entire time to become a master of multitasking. And when I managed to pass the flag at the end of a tough level and I hit that dab, it gave me a huge dopamine rush. To add to this, I wanted to say I originally planned to release this video about a week ago, but the notes I had written down didn't do the game justice in my opinion, and since I've taken more time to digest my experience with Cosmic Pebble, I think I appreciate this level design and the mechanics a lot more than I did immediately after finishing the game. These levels are meticulously handcrafted for an action-packed speedrun-like experience, and getting through them is only the first step. I think it's worth retrying each stage at least once to get a better understanding of how Giannis intended them to be played, because the intent is your improvement. What feels punishing on a first run becomes infinitely more rewarding as you get better. And though I joked about it before, it's comparable to playing something like Dark Souls or Celeste, or even a roguelike such as Dead Cells. Your experience builds and gives you more skill to do better each time that you run back through. The difficulty factor almost feels purposeful in the context of the story of the game as well. And I'll spare the story details, as I think you should probably experience it firsthand. It's pretty special, but the game is a tale of perseverance, really, and fortitude against terrible odds. Our protagonist in this story is the cheerful and hopeful voice that ended up resonating with me as I struggled through these alien environments. I wanted to continue to fight through because the friends I had met over the course of the game needed me, and I wasn't going to let them down. Everything feels very intentional in Cosmic Pebble, and it makes this game really thematically cohesive, in my opinion. At the end of the day, Cosmic Pebble has so much going for it. There's so much more content than I've shown in this video, and replayability is high with level-specific challenges that will unlock skins for your character and your boomerang, sprawling side paths containing multiple collectibles to gather, and a leaderboard as well, which you should absolutely beat my atrocious time on every level and tell me all about it below in the comments. This game is for platformer enthusiasts that enjoy improving their skills, as you'll find no shortage of opportunity if you want to push your limit and master the game. The developers' clear times are insanely good, but that's obviously what happens when you spend all your time on a labor of love. It shows the amount of care and effort put into making this experience as great as possible for the player. I want to frame everything I've said up to now with an immense amount of support for Giannis. I am a hobbyist myself with probably too much investment in a lot of different projects, and there's nothing more impressive than learning a skill from nothing and making the leap to releasing it like this project. For a solo dev's first game, this is a fantastic effort, very high quality, and I really hope to see more from you in the future. Cosmic Pebble is out right now on Steam. I'm linking it in the description, and it's priced at only $4.99 USD, guys. A steal. When I started this video, it was actually priced at $8.99, and honestly, I think it's worth every penny of that original price. It took me roughly 4 hours to beat the game casually, and I think you could easily get 10 or more hours out of the game by replaying and unlocking everything. I absolutely recommend that you support this passion project if it seems up your alley. And if you're still here, thank you for checking out my channel. If you guys are enjoying these short reviews, please let me know in the comments or by dropping a like on this video so that I know to make more. Either way, I'll hopefully see you around at the spaceport soon. Later.